Hey guys, welcome back to Obscene Plant Scene, where I like plants and have a potty mouth. Today I need to repot some of my carnivorous plants. I need to repot one of my nepenthes, one of my sarracenia, and a couple of my pings. And repotting my pings, I mean I'm going to split some of them up and then put them in their designated pots. So I thought I would bring you guys along to mix up a batch of my carnivorous mix. For my, I do two different batches. Um, I do one for my nepenthes and sarracenia, and then I take that and then amend it with more stuff for my pings. So I have a bin here, good old just normal Walmart bin. Mostly clean-ish, good enough for what I need it for. And I will show you all of the different things that I put in my mixes. So super duper simple for my sarracenia and nepenthes. I literally just use pure peat and perlite. Now with the peat that I get, I make sure to get peat that does not have any additives in it. This is the brand that I use. I've been using this for years. I like the texture of this one. It doesn't have any weird smells. It doesn't have any like big pieces. It's just nice peat mix. And then for the perlite, I use this organic brand, Back to the Roots. I've also been using this for years. And with the perlite and the peat, I know that you can get some in big box stores from the brand that rhymes with Schmiracle Schmo. Try to stay away from that. Actually, don't try. Absolutely stay away from that if you're going to be repotting your carnivorous plants, because all of the products that come from that said brand, all of them are infused with fertilizer. So the perlite contains fertilizer. I know that they have a peat mix or like a peat moss bag that you can get, the straight peat that also has fertilizer included in it. Even if you don't see the little slow release granules, they soak the peat and perlite in a liquid fertilizer. So I've seen a lot of people who have asked me and talked to me about carnivorous plants, and they're like, I don't understand. I used just peat and perlite, or I used like peat and vermiculite, and my plants died, and I don't understand why. Once I ask them what brand it is, it's usually one that they got at the big box store, the really popular one. And I'm like, well, there's your downfall. But a lot of people don't realize that. But if like you can read the bag and it tells you whether or not it's infused with extra stuff, and that is one of the ones that's like on the bag. But this brand does not have anything in there. I don't care about it being organic or whatever. And then this bag of peat just has the peat. So since I know I'm going to need to repot those two carnivorous plants, plus I'm going to use this mix and amend it some more for my pings, I am just going to go ahead and use this whole bag of peat. If I don't have a bin handy, I also, if you go to Dollar Tree, or $1.25 Tree as we call it now, in my house, if you go to Dollar Tree, you can get really big mixing bowls. I don't think I have mine handy because I think I was mixing up some other stuff in it. But I buy these really big mixing bowls. They're like 8 or 10 quart things from Dollar Tree, and I use those to mix stuff all the time, and it works just as good. So get my peat, and for this, I'm gonna, I don't have my fan on, I don't have my mask, I'm just raw dogging this shit. So let me hold my breath real quick. Nasty. Anyways, all up in my face. I don't have a little mixer thing around me. Where's my scoops? Oh, hell. One moment, please. And we're back with scoop. Okay, so as I was saying, or not saying, because I was trying not to breathe in the perlite. So you want to mix the peat and perlite together so that it's about like a half and half mix. Because essentially what you want is the peat, and I do also try to like break up the like big chunkies. Like there's big chunks in there like that, so I'll just kind of break those up real good. But essentially what you want is a good mix of peat so that it holds on to the moisture and helps kind of hold the plant in place. But then you want the perlite to add aeration so that the roots can still get some airflow, because you know roots need more than just water and nutrients. It needs air to breathe. So yeah, that's pretty good balance right there. So there's another big old chunk. It chunks up like worm castings, which is really annoying, but it's fine. So there is the mix. Nice little blend of half and half. So now that I have this done, I am going to, I'm looking for something to put this in. Let me get one of those Dollar Tree bowls. Also be right back. I'm so prepared this time, guys. Can't you tell? And we're back again. So now that I have this mixed up, this is going to be, like I said, for my sarracenia and nepenthes. So now I'm going to take a couple scoops of this out to use for my pings. I'm just going to put that in a separate container. Just a little, probably going to do like a half and half split. Half for the pings, half for the nepenthes and sarracenia. I'm not doing any exact measurements, guys. I mix my potting mixes up the same way that I cook. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of love, and it's fine. So I split that up into 2 batches, and then for the batch that I'm going to use for my pings, because my pings are not mine, but because pings generally sit on like the top of the substrates, they don't have roots that go down, they kind of go out and hang on to stuff. I do like to amend this, and I don't like watering my pings every like other day. I typically do Mexican pings. So I will also add in some vermiculite. So I have some really fine vermiculite here. I'll do like a couple of scoops of that for, again, more water retention, because I like to be able to not have to water my pings every day. And I do keep my pings in generally like really small dishes, or cups or bowls or what have you. I have one pingdom set up that's in just a like a pie dish that I thrifted. That's like maybe an inch and a half deep. So yeah, so I amend this with some vermiculite just for some added water retention. And this is another Back to the Roots bag. I love their vermiculite. It's really fine and fantastic. And just to give it a little bit of fun, a little bit of color, I also use crushed glass. This is completely optional, but even if you don't use this, I get this from Etsy. If you don't use this, then I would recommend like aquarium gravel is a really good one, or aquarium sand, or something really fine grit but heavy, because like I said, the pings kind of sit on top of your substrate and don't really go like into it. So I like having something a little bit heavier to literally help weigh down the substrate, and give the pings something to hang on to that literally weighs them down. So I will do, I've already used like half of this and other mixes that I've batched up, so I'll probably do half of what's left, so like a quarter of a thin. This also comes in like a ton of different colors, and they have a multicolor one, and I just like the contrast of the blue versus like all the colors of the pings that I have. So I'll use like a quarter of that, so that's Oh, it doesn't have a measurement of how much this is. Well, whatever. And then I'll just mix that up. And the other thing that I do, because like I said, this is really small glass. These are 1 to 3 millimeter pieces. The other thing that I will do with this before I do anything with my pings or put it in anything, because this is very like lightweight, like you can see it's very light, I will take my distilled water that I use to water my pings and I will wet the substrate just with like a little bit of water. That way it almost makes it not like a mud, but definitely makes it more like handleable, manageable, kind of. And it just helps me put it in the containers without it literally blowing around everywhere. So you saw how the texture was before when I showed you guys. Now you saw how much water I put in. I didn't put in a ton. That's the mix now. And you can see it's still really light, but it definitely like clumps together more. So this just makes it a lot more malleable, makes it a lot more easy to put into containers, like I said, without it kind of like falling away everywhere. Also, what I've noticed with a lot of mixes that are really lightweight, if you don't pre-water it, then stuff like the perlite, that is, of all the lightweight things in there, they're the ones that are most airy. They'll just float up to the top of whatever container you're watering. So yeah, I like mixing it up like that. Just makes it a little bit easier for me. You do you, boo, whatever you want to do with your carnivorous mix. But those are the ones that I have used. Nepenthes, I've been growing on and off for probably 2 years now. I've not had any losses. For sarracenia, I just started getting into them in April. I've successfully repotted 2. You know what? I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names. One's like a big fat purple one that like lays out and has like big giant picture things. And then the other one is a white something. Uh, Again, I'm super new to sarracenia. I just started getting into them in April. It's now the end of July, so like a couple of months. I repotted both of those. I did reach out to the company that I bought the sarracenia from, which was I bought one in person at the big plant expo, and then when I got home, I kept it alive for a month, and then I reached out to the company and ordered another one and asked about what I could repot them in. This was their recommendation, so they're the professionals. I'm gonna do what they tell me to. So I think that it works good for me and my watering habits. And then with the ping mix, I've used the same mix for, how long have I had pings? Like 3 years now? Yeah, yeah, like 3 years. Uh, yeah, because last year I started getting into TC pings, so I didn't do that until I was in it for like a couple years. So yeah, this is probably like year 3 of me having pings. Um, and this mix has kept all of them alive. I don't think I've lost. The only pings that I've lost is ones that I have tried to propagate myself. Like I'll take, when I do repot, I might take off the bottom couple of leaves, and because I do tend to like clean up all the dead stuff whenever I split them or repot them. And um, I've had times where I've tried to propagate them in different methods, paper towel method, just a wet, like water in like a sauce cup method, and some have been more successful than others. But other than that, I don't think I've ever lost a ping just outright, like dying after repotting. Um, on the note of pings, and I'm planning on doing a video on pings in general, but when you repot or if you repot, try not to like fuck with them too much because pinguicula do not like their roots to be messed with a lot. So they're definitely ones that if you can help it, don't repot until you absolutely need to. In my situation, I do absolutely need to because the 3 that I'm going to be splitting are in like plastic sauce cups. They are growing out of the sides of the sauce cups, and I want to split them and put them in their own individual vessels, and I can't do that unless I have mix. So I had to mix that up. I was like, hey, let me just film this in case anybody was wondering what I do or what they should do for their things, or for their carnivorous plants in general. I don't have any experience with Venus flytraps, which is crazy because I live in the southeastern United States and they literally grow in the wild here, which is crazy that I can't. I've only tried one and I did repot it at the time, like 5 years ago, in mix that I made with stuff from Walmart, if you get my drift. So I'm not surprised that that died. I do plan on, because I got into sarracenia this year, I'm not going to get into another carnivorous plant genus until I can make sure that I can keep them alive, keep them happy. Um, so, like 3 years ago, I got pings, and then like 2 years ago, I got nepenthes, and then this year, I got sarracenia. So, next year, maybe, we'll see, I might dabble back into the Venus flytrap avenue. So, if you guys have any recommendations, actually, no, don't give me recommendations for Venus flytraps or where to buy them because then I'll be tempted. So, don't tempt me. But yeah, if you guys use mixes that are similar to these, or you have other things that you amend in your carnivorous plant mixes, feel free to let me know. I'm always actively learning about what to do and not to do. So I would love any tips or tricks that you guys have for your carnivorous plants. And other than that, y'all have a great day. Thanks so much and happy planting.